Welcome everyone. Today we are going to talk about fully funded scholarships. And the best way to talk about scholarships is to also have testimonies of some people who are recipients of fully funded scholarships. And today we have Anna to talk to a special guest who is among the winner, can simply say, just instead of the use of the recipient, rather than you competed and you won the fully funded scholarship. So welcome to the show, and introduce yourself first and foremost.
All right. Thank you, Ernest and EBM Scholars. It's an honor to be hosted in your show and your live, and you are doing a great work. Great. Big ups for all the info that you churn out here. So my name is Sheshi Mureu. I'm a Kenyan. I've already completed my master's actually in international business in Luleå. That's the northern part of Sweden. And I won the scholarship, the Swedish Institute, a scholarship for global professionals. That's the entire big name, but we call it SI, Swedish Institute, standing for SI. And I won it in 2019. Yes.
First, and before you continue, I want to make sure that people understand, like, the scholarship we are talking about is something I even posted a couple weeks ago for people to be able to know that there is this type of scholarship which is available, so that they can be able to apply. And it is on my screen here. If someone you go on my screen, you will see the first video here. It's called "Study in Sweden for Free, Fully Funded Scholarships." This is the Swedish Institute for Global Professionals. The one you are talking, you are the one you got it. So I'll also, at the end of this video, I'll put the link of that particular scholarship, which we are going to talk, and other things about fully funded scholarships you can be able to share. So thank you so much for mentioning the scholarship you got it.
Yes, thank you.
So how did you come about to know the scholarship in Sweden? Or how many scholarships did you apply, and how did you get that one exactly?
So my story is a testimony because God granted me. I had never applied for any master's abroad. I had never applied for any scholarship abroad. So for mine is a unique story and a unique testimony. So what happened is that I'd worked for 10 years as a finance and administration manager in a non-profit organization in Kenya. So after 8 years, you become a bit tired, and you also are looking forward to do a master's. And for a long time, I kept pushing it because I was like, oh, it's so expensive. Then I just don't want to do an MBA for the sake of it. I want to do something that's that's in line with my work as a first finance person and also events. That's why I chose the master's in international business. So I was just seated at home, and I saw a Facebook post from a Nigerian, not even my fellow Kenyan, a Nigerian, Mobolaji. I know most people, and Mobolaji, big ups. I'm sure you will see this video and other people that I'm following him. Yes, so that's how I found out about the school, and I was like, oh my God, and they're not asking for grading, like, because I used to think scholarships are for first class honors only. So I thought anyone with a second upper, that's a bachelor's degree in within part of Kenya or part of Africa. So I thought, maybe not for me. That is how I found out about the scholarship. And he just said, look at these two links, study them. He said study, not just checking.
Yeah.
He said study them. So that's the two links. I'm sure we'll go into details about them.
So when you apply, you completed the application. It is a very long application. We know that.
Yes.
They're going to give you money, so it's not for free.
Yes.
How was the process of applying? Did you have anything that I'm going to get this one, or I'm just doing?
No, I was very clear because I have never applied. So I was going into it with an open mind that I can get it. When I looked at so there are two important sites that you need to go and study and check them thoroughly. And that's the university admission of Sweden and the Swedish Institute website, so that you see, because the beauty about it is that it's a process it's a two-way process. So someone needs to understand that first before you dash and just apply. No. So you start first with applying to the admission. Yes, the beauty about it is that in Sweden they have a centralized system where all the universities are under one side. It really sorted me out, because I just went and just digged in. Masters in, I've done also accounting, so I was looking at masters in finance, in accounting in different universities. So that is a beauty about it. So for me, the process, when I looked at what the scholarship was asking for, I was like, I have this. I can get this, so I need to dig. I need to do this. I need to do it and do it right, because it's one way. You need to bring your A game. And I tell people that every time, anything you apply, a job, a business, a YouTuber like ABM, there's work that goes behind these videos, that goes behind the thinking process and all that. So for me, I really wanted it, so I had to work for it. And I think I liked what Mobolaji said, that you start early. So once I saw it, I was like, okay, so October, I'm starting it. Of course, you have your money, either you're going to save it, or you're going to, because there's application process of it. So I can explain how it goes. So it starts from September. The beauty about it is that you have maybe like a year. If you want, for now, the deadline is 17th of January, 2022, to apply for the master's program first. That's the first process. And then you go to the scholarship. The scholarship opens in February, which will be 10th to 28th. So, but the bit that you need to understand is that you are aiming to get an admission. That is your aim, that you must get an admission to one of the master's program, because they give you four masters that you can apply for, which is 900 SEK for the application fee. That covers the 4 that you would like. Some do 2. If you really believe in yourself, you can apply for only 2. But go for the 4 that are relating. But of course, you have to check the list of eligible master's program that Swedish Institute normally releases. So you don't apply just blindly to the master's.
Mention on that, there is a link inside the Swedish Institute, the links of eligible programs which are fully funded. Almost all, but don't go there. Oh, I'm going to study this one. You might wonder something is not there. They're not going to give you scholarship. So make sure it is among those. They are at least hundreds of programs, but make sure it's one among of the funded one.
Yes, and then the beauty about it also being a two-way process. As you're looking at the masters that are eligible for scholarship, also as you apply, you are also applying in the mind that you're also applying for the scholarship. So you cannot only just, as ABM is saying, not just any program and blindly. So that, for example, I've given my example. My background was finance, and also I have management, so basically business administration. So if that is a line I want to go, I must also apply for a master's. And because the beauty about winning is that one tip for you, for everybody, is that you have higher chances of winning if everything of yours is interlinked. What you did in your bachelor's, because you need to, that's one part of the requirements, you need a bachelor's degree. The work that you do, or we call it the work and leadership experience, because that's key for the institute, that you have a leadership experience. And then number 3, what masters, so they need to connect. So first is let me just repeat again, that your bachelor's degree need to be related to what you're doing, like your work or the work and leadership experience, the master's you would like to do. And number 4, and not the least, is what is your plan?
What are you going to do with the studies?
Yes.
Related.
Everything the more closely related they are, the more chances. But that does not mean that you cannot apply to, for example, you're a teacher and you want to do engineering, but you must really convince the committee Why do you want to do a master's in maybe you are in education and you want to do a master's, I don't know, I'm just thinking on top of my head, maybe chemistry or something. You have to really relate why. Is it connected to the work you're going to do?
I'll give you an example. You are a normal bachelor of teaching. You say, I want to do leadership. It's not the plan I'm planning to move away from teaching, but I want to do leadership in education that will be linked in one way or another. But not, I just want to leave the teaching job. I want to go to become a politician. They're not going to keep, because they must be linked in one way or another.
Yes. So as I said before, leadership is key. So one of the other requirements that maybe we can list here is that you must have a leadership experience. Whatever leadership experience, it means that not necessarily just as a managerial position that you had at your work, but can you actually say, can you prove that you are a leader in a way? Because there are so many examples. Maybe you are a student leader in your university. That's a form of leadership experience. Maybe at work, you are maybe the person leading the organization in terms of maybe you're in HR, you're the one who makes decisions or influences the decisions. So that must be linked for you to be able to showcase you've been a leader. Probably it's civil society, networks that you are involved. Are you a leader? Because there's so many examples that we miss out. Even guys from church, it's how you package.
I want to add something on that, which you are talking. The problem we have is many Africans, when you are told, show us your experience, either work or leadership. Leadership, they think about members of parliament. Leadership, we look about that higher level. When you talk about work experience, you look about how much money you make. Instead, we are looking about work experience. Is it whether it's paid, whether it's unpaid? What are you going to do in your community? Whether it's internship, whether it's volunteering, you can be working in one place, but out of your comfort zone. You usually go to the youth, and as a leader in your community, you help youth to stop doing bad behavior, to focus on education or something. So let's not focus only about how much money you get paid, or the name of the title you have is a member of parliament, or is a congress, or a councillor, or those big titles. It can be from class monitor, can be to your local leadership you have been able to do, whether it's for free, whether it's for payment. How do you go to write it in a professional way? That matters.
Yes, very, very true. And thank you for giving such examples, because like for other people who have church, because there's usually the question of, how about church? Sheshi, how can I explain to the institute that I am a leader in church? Yes, you are. So what do you do in that leadership position that you have, or in that church role that you have? Probably your pastor, there are key responsibilities for a pastor, there are key responsibility for praise and worship, there's key responsibility for someone taking care of maybe administrative or the church involvement. So there's that example. Of course, he's already given about the community. What are you doing in your community? For example, my example was that I was involved in Kenya Cancer Association. That's an NGO in Kenya, where I was the captain of the group, that I had like 20 people or so for 2 years. I was ensuring that we have events, we are meeting up, we have fundraising. I mobilize the group to go out there and get funds for people, especially cancer, and supporting cancer patients or people that are either directly or indirectly affected by cancer. So for me, that's a good example. And don't look down just because of 20 and you're looking at someone who's a CEO and has a big company that's a leader. So that's a key point.
I added something. The problem we have, I'm looking as a problem, but it's a solution.
Yes.
For us as Africans, we have the behavior of being a product of the community. So to feel that we are humble, so we don't want to showcase what we really have.
Yes.
That is a different behavior when you go to the Westerners to express that they are the best on what they are doing, and expressing themselves, what they have done to their community or what they are really doing. So that's why we say, oh, Ronaldo is arrogant. Messi is not. Messi is from Latin America, is developing countries' culture, so they'll be humble. But Ronaldo, I'm the best, and will tell you what he's going to do. When you compete on the scholarship, is a competition. If you don't say, they do not know. So you have to find a way not to be too arrogant, but like there is a professional way of saying, yes, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. And how are you going to link with what you finish? Because no matter how good you are, but you say my aim is to go to Norway, Finland, Sweden, and just to disappear there, they don't care. They're going to. So in the end, you have to link, because this one they have in the end. How are you going to develop your home community?
Yes.
Everything you have, use the word link. Everything has to link the reason and getting at the end. So thank you for pointing out, like, even if you are not a CEO in your respective area, how leadership is shown.
Yes. And then among the requirements, it's not working hours is 3,000 hours. So there's a way that you go to the site, there's a way that shows how you calculate that. And it's not only just the work that we think about, the one that you paid monthly. There are internships, there's freelance that you can actually showcase. So you don't even have
YouTube is work experience, what I'm doing here. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Don't look about payment. Work experience, we are looking about time management, respecting your supervisor, being a teamwork. Those are work experience. It's not about the salary. It's about do you go along with your co-workers, whether you are cleaning, whether you are CEO. That's why you don't look about the title. They look about what you're going to do or what you are doing.
Yes. And then one of the key other thing that I can point out is that please read again. And I want to reiterate here that the ones who are given first priority, like in the documentation, to see who gets to win. Because remember, it's a committee. You're convincing me the same way you apply for jobs. There are many job seekers out there. What's your unique point? What are you going to sell? You package the way you package yourself. So they say that the first priority is the most suitable, that have suitable professional and work. I've already mentioned work experience, and the fact that you are that person who says, this is what I interlink with the SDG, because right now you have to talk about the sustainable development goals, so the UN. So read on them and interlink that. If you're in an organization that deals with maybe leadership, maybe quality education, I don't know, read about them, because it looks simple because you're not being asked for your first class in the school. They're not considered already when you're admitted. That is enough. You have already covered that you have the bachelor's degree that are equivalent to the ESTs. That's in the European the system, how they do the education system here. So that you already have. So there's a general requirements for uni. I can start with the university and then I go to the scholarship.
I usually tell people that, which it makes me upset, especially my colleagues from Africa. You don't have a job. You graduate. You have good experience. You have good GPA, good results. You don't want to volunteer. You are looking for a job for 2 years, and you are saying, "Oh, this Magufuli, this Kenyatta is not giving us a job as youth." But there are so many scholarships, and usually tell people, even if you don't want to go to study, if you have the qualifications, treat this scholarship as a job.
Yes,
because you're going to get paid. Paid to study.
Yes.
Payment. How much Swedish krona, and will convert to the US dollar or euro? How much average were you getting paid on a monthly basis?
So the good part is that you get the 10,000 Swedish kronas. So if it's like Kenya, that's like 100,000,
which is about 1,100.
Yes. Dollar. Yes, yeah. So that takes care. So the scholarship. So of course EBM has, but I can also repeat them. So far the good. We start with the good parts and then we go to the scholarship. So the good part about the scholarship is that your university is paid for every semester by the Swedish Institute, and number two, you get the 10,000, which is your monthly allowance. It's how you work around it. It depends, of course, if you're in the north like me, maybe you will not spend much of it in housing or other things. Of course, if you're in the south, Stockholm, Uppsala, Lund, those are a bit expensive. Gothenburg, those are a bit expensive cities. Of course, you will get student housing, which is cheaper. So, and then number 3 is that you get to be refunded like 15,000. That's about 1,000, USD for your travel costs. But you, of course, you must land in Sweden, not that you will be paid when you're in Kenya and then don't get to try. No, my African brothers and sisters for that case. And then number 4 is that you're able to, you become, once I won the scholarship, you become a member of a network. Yeah. So you have different networks for different universities. So for example, us were I think the last, quote unquote, last privileged group that we met as chairs of the 25 networks across Sweden that we were meeting in Stockholm for leadership training. You see how it's not just about the money.
Professional network.
Imagine I was seated with 24 other people around the world.
After imagine. You are now.
Yeah, and interacting, with the managers. And I'm sure when they were looking at us seated there in Stockholm, they were thinking, oh, we brought good people. So that's the network you get. So, and I also became the chairperson in our network here in Luleå. Luleå is the northern part, coastal city in the north. So of course, there's the weather, and I know people have all manner of conversations about that. But for me, I believe in adapting. You have to adapt. You have to come open-minded, manage your expectations. Those ones we can talk about. But then now the last part is that right now after I graduated, because I love that my story is when I met EBN is that I won, I applied, won, and also graduated. So it is possible to graduate even when you have scholarship, because I know there are people who don't graduate even when they have a scholarship. So it's important that you take this road or this seriously. So my posts after graduating, you become automatically an SI alumni in the network. So you get also other privileges in terms of information, being invited for meetings. And also they continue if you join, like for example, I've joined the Kenyan alumni network. So you're also still funded to do other events or other community-based just making change, making a difference, an impact in your, whatever impact means, because I know people have used that word, but it's what you need to do to sustain. So for me, it's a whole package. So it's not just about just like any other scholarship. And then the other thing that people don't mention is that you are open. You don't have to go back to your country after you finish the scholarship.
That's what I wanted to insist, because some of the scholarships, for instance, it used to have on quota scheme for Norway, because of Europe. There is a requirement: if you finish, you must go back to your country. If you stay, that scholarship is converted to be a loan. But this one, as long as you are staying there legally, they are not a problem. There is a different pathways to go and stay in a country. So it's just to know about that one. That takes me to another. You behind the scene that you need to explain, you need to write a book, you need to make YouTube videos. These are some of the materials many people, our colleagues in Africa, should know these opportunities, to use them, and how they can be able to, when they're going there, they have a blueprint to succeed and also help others. Yeah. So.
Yes, and I think it's good you pointed out in terms of legally, definitely you must go through the process. So that means that I was mentioning to him that once you leave, and I even tell many people who I interact with asking me about this scholarship, I tell them, before you leave, this is one advice I was given by my brother who had even studied abroad in Germany, and he told me, the most mistake that let's just insist on the Africans, is that you just come with these huge expectations. You think that if I land in Sweden, the next day I'm going to work. And I'm like, but you got a scholarship to study. So you need to understand, once I leave, like that airport, please leave all your managing expectations either in Kampala, Arusha, or in Nairobi, and just fly, knowing that you're coming to a new environment and you want to either stay, so that you make plans from there, because that's most what I have seen even students abroad. That's the biggest mistake that people do. They say, oh, I will, when I graduate, I will decide. But then when it comes to graduation, in June is when someone, because you're in Sweden, you're given a permit, a resident permit. So it allows you to work I know that's another question that people ask. So once you're studying, of course, you have to make your priority. Swedish Institute will not follow you up if you're working. That's your problem. But if you don't, and here it's a point I need to mention, that if you don't pass, the scholarship can be stripped off. So it's a conditional scholarship. So once you sign on the dotted line, if you don't pass according to the rules and regulations, then you'll be stripped off. So it means as you're coming, I insist again, have a plan that either I'm going to stay in Sweden or I'm going to either work and study also, so that you feel, because people also show up and do other things. Yeah.
That's the first advice I give to everyone. I don't care where you're coming from. If they ask, my question is, are you coming to stay here for the rest of your life, or you are going back to your home country? That is small decision. Even if you change later, will help you to make decisions on even what type of jobs you will be looking at. What type of networks you need to have, what type of friends you need to have. Because if you're going back, you can start looking what companies they have branches in the country. So when you go back there, you can be able to link with what type of, but if I'm staying here, I can study even a course which is not applicable there because I'm staying here. I'm not going back over there. I can start looking about how to buy a home here from day one, even if I'm not buying. So it helps you to the types of investment, the types of how you use your money, your time, everything. But if you wait later, the time is, oh, I want to stay, but you don't have even a good network. You haven't prioritized what to do. In the end, you are going to be a big problem. And as ambassador, because when you come here, you're African ambassador, you are going to be messing up the behavior of all other African coming later because of your mistakes. So make sure that you know what you want to do right away before you go or after landing down. And I usually tell people, write them down because it is easier to forget. Trust me, these countries.
Yeah, we don't have to say much, but be because that is what really assisted me, because someone would ask me, okay, so after June, why did you stay and others didn't stay, or what happened? I'm like, first of all, you have most of these, especially most of the European countries, the Nordic countries, Finland, Norway, Denmark, Netherlands. So what they do is that they can grant you, of course, with their conditions for that, they can grant you a year. It's more of like a search visa. So in Sweden, it's a resident permit to look for work or start a job, which is 12 months. So before it was 6 months, so it was increased. So, but those 12 months, two key things that you must have. You must have graduated on time. So if you are here for 1 year master's, you must have finished on time. If you're here, like for example, I came for master's for 2 years. By June, I needed to have finished.
On the application of this one, it is indicated this is the 1 year master, this is 2 years masters.
Yes.
I advise you, if you want to stay there, just apply for 2 years program. Why do you want to go for 1 year? If you have your own life there, yes, just go for one. If I'm going, my aim is to stay there. Why should I apply for 1 year? So I'm choosing, it can be the same program. One university can have 2 years, one. So choose whatever appropriate. I'm not choosing for you. Sorry for interrupting. But continue.
No. It's good to say that, so that we, because it's a conversation, so that we remember. And I like, the approach that you've taken, so that people understand. So we mix, the conditions, regulations, and after post-graduation. So you need to have graduated on time. As I said, like the expiry period, they will only give you for the time you study, because that's the student permit or the visa that you have. So after that, so there's one, that you must have graduated on time. And number two, you must have money, which is what is more of what they call it, what the money that you will have to host you, like you have to showcase that you have. So they give you, I think right now it's about 8,580 kronas, so times 12. So you need to have over 100 and 3,000 kronas. That's like, I think in dollars.
Like 10, just wait, about 12,000.
Yes, exactly. US dollar, yes. So you need to have that in account. So what does that go back to what we have said? When you're coming, have a set mind that I want. So someone will ask me, so how did you do it? You sit down, you see your budget, it's 10,000. Yes, I'm a student. You decide. But people have different priorities. I understand others have families, others are sending money back home. So it's you to decide what route you want to take. So if you get a job, of course, there are those that we are privileged to get a job. So I save my money, use my scholar. So it depends. So by the end of the 2 years,
photos for Instagram and enjoy is up to
that's
you.
upon you. I agree with you. I've seen that. I've seen it all. By the way, in the end, I have my 2 years. I saw it all. Even right now, I welcomed scholars in the north last year. I welcomed others who I met later this year, because the scholarship is only given for the the autumn semester, which is the fall. So for this one, you are applying, you will only be able to come to Sweden October. Yes, September next year for the autumn semester. So I think it's very important that you manage your expectations and plan ahead, because that helps you to avoid the drama where everyone now is panic mode, because that is what happened. That's the reality of life. In June, everyone was in panic mode, because now you realize, I don't want to go to Zimbabwe. Oh my God, I don't want to go to Uganda. What do I do?
There are some people, trust me, they come, they say, when you come to these countries, at the beginning, everything you are comparing,
Yes.
we have this one, is very good. This one. And the time is going, you start adjusting. Now it's so cold, because you're coming there, it's winter, whatever. It's so cold. I'll be enjoying my weather. And then, boom, the time to go back. But I'm getting used to this life. So, but if you make a decision at the beginning, even if you say, now I'm going back, it's not bad. But if you say, I'm going back and you want to stay, it will cost you so bad.
Yes.
So better to prepare, I'm staying, even if you go back, obviously you'll have the money to go back with, because you have saved with. So there is nothing wrong to go back. But if you say, I'm going back and I'm staying, you change the mind in the middle of the game, it can cost you a lot. That's why you end up being illegal. And then you are coming, these people are bad, whatever, but don't hate the player. Those are the regulations. They are there. You signed them. You know the regulations.
Yes, yeah, you know. So and it's sad. I mean, to watch. We cannot, overemphasize about being legally somewhere. You will understand once you're here, because it's hard to explain to you the experience of someone who lives without papers, because I know we call them papers, for lack of a better word, but we all know what we mean when someone is saying, I don't have papers. So even here, you will try to say, in the US, people live, I'm sorry, you will be here. It's so easy to get you so fast.
Let me give the biggest difference between Europe and the US when it comes to papers. And that's why I usually tell people, Europe, it is easier, it is difficult, but it's easier to get the visa in Europe than in the US. Why? In Europe, they can give you the visa, but if you're out of status at the bus stop, police can stop you, can ask a question, can come at the door and can ask a question. So you can maybe you have to hide in your toilet, because anywhere they can catch you. In the US, police is not allowed by law to just from nowhere, unless you commit a crime. But if I'm walking in the street, police cannot ask me, where's your paper? Because I'm black or I look Spanish, so they are not allowed, because it would be racism. But in Europe, the law, the Europeans are white. So if you are, show me your papers, it's not racism for them. So it is so much torture for not having papers.
Yes.
That's why all these procedures are there legally, legal ways you can go through the process.
Yes.
So just get used to watch some videos, learning from people who are there before you. Ask them so that you can make informed decisions and not becoming on the road, because it's very easy to be depressed. I've seen it, and it's sad, because there are people who are close to you, and you see the trouble, because now imagine it's not only just the housing that you're sorting, because you had student housing, so you need either to move out or something. So you have also challenges. Now you can't do anything, because here, like for example in Sweden, you cannot do anything without a personal number, which is a social number, like in the US. So that's the first thing. When you land here, you have to get that, because that will sort you out. Bank, you can't open a bank account without it. You cannot get any services in the hospital without it. Right now, even the COVID, it was that bad.
that it's not only just student, but anyone who did not have the personal number. Of course, right now things have changed a bit, but you can imagine. So of course there are roads to check. Either you will look for that 1 year work visa. This is now after post the graduation. You can apply for PhD, which PhD is like a work. It's really like work here in Sweden, because I want to be specific. Europe is huge, but since I'm in Sweden, I can speak.
Most of the Scandinavian,
yes,
not a lot. You work you are given a work, but
yes,
it's on PhD, so you are getting salary, full everything, and that is, I have to emphasize on that. It's a very good route to do that way, because you are not very good in Swedish or the language of the country.
Yes.
So sometimes to get a very good job, and if you are not like a web designer or whatever, those who don't care about the language much, it is very difficult to get a very, very good job outside. So going by PhD is a work, so you get work experience, and down the road it will be easy to continue to be hired with the university institutions, which will be using English and continue that kind of life.
Yes, yeah, and then because you've noted about the language, so the master's program are taught in English, purely English, so you don't have to worry about all the master's programs that are available in autumn. They are all in English. But if you want to stay again, there's an extra effort you can make about the language. I'm not the best to tell you, because my roots were different. Maybe I was telling him I'll just focus more on work. So I was privileged to work and school. So I had to balance it out. And I keep telling the new scholars who've come is that if you know that you are not a multitasker and you cannot manage both school and work, just choose your battles. Pick your battles. I will not choose for you. You pick your battles. There are people who thrive in doing both, and there are those who don't. So for language, the Swedish language, of course, everywhere, everything is done in Swedish. Your paperwork, your rent contract will be in Swedish. So of course you can use Google Translate, but at the same time you can join and it's called SFI. So it's Swedish for immigrants. So you can join. It's offered by the government. It's free. So you can learn the language as you figure out if you want to stay. So for me, the beauty about the scholarship that I already spoke about, it's a wholesome bit of it. So the network, the support that you get, of course, with the COVID times now, most of the things or most of the classes are digital. So probably you'll be on your own. I think I need to, before we, wrap up, I need to also say that most of the time you'll be alone. I think it's important for someone to know that, because those are the things that people don't share or say.
You mentioned about alone, and this is one of the things I usually emphasize. What was your experience coming from Kenya, where it is outdoor life, hang out with everyone, party after party outside, outdoor, going to the neighbor, kid is crying on the street, is good, whatever, to a new culture of isolation, I can simply say, or lonely, whatever I can say that way. How was the experience of the transition on your end?
Okay, yeah, being an extroverted person, I love hiking. I'm an outdoor person. I used to do events. I'm amongst people. That's the thing. But for me, before that, I had started to research, as you said, and of course ask people, ask family, friends who are outside, how is it? And when people are honest with you, they tell you, yes, Liz, you'll be, especially you will be your own, but you will be good, because you love networking. So you love making friends. So it works for you, because you will have, you're never alone. So my strategy was to come and also get myself into the community. Just integrate. That will, even if you are alone, at least you have classes, because there are those universities that have tried to do physical classes for new students, like in the autumn. So join a network, join a student network. If you come as a scholar, you have the network. So you have people from different countries that you have, like maybe a network will have 16 people, 20 people. Don't sit in the room and decide, oh, it's lonely, it's isolation, I can't do anything. No. So for me, of course, it's a shock. It's a culture shock that you're now landed at Stockholm and you're thinking, okay, now I have to figure out, you can't ask anybody, so you have to check what's the gate number for my plane because I had to catch, of course, and connect to Luleå because it's the northern part. So for me, that was the first thing that I did, is that to integrate, to talk to the locals. Of course, I had the couple of times where your Swedish neighbor who's a student, because I was living in the student apartment, they don't talk to you. And not because they don't want to talk to you, but that's their culture. It's a culture, people. It's not that they hate you, no. They have been raised to be on their own, to be so independent. It's so, everyone for their own, on their own and all that. So for you who loves or were used to living, with people, you just walk outside and your neighbor, I can tell you, the apartment I lived first, like in the student apartment, my neighbor spoke to me like after a year. And because he was saying goodbye, because he was moving out. So when you want to leave, and I was like, what? That is so strange. But the beauty is that, what I did is that I joined a student network, Erasmus. It's called ESN, so it's Erasmus student network.
Yeah.
That's the biggest student network across Europe. So when I joined, I applied, joined, and became part of the international student organization that we were now welcoming, orienting the other international students. Exchange students became my friends. So I have a lot of friends now from Spain, France, Germany. So I think for me, it's just expanding your network. And now, like Ben says, you can start, things to do with YouTube, things to do with what else. And it gives you time to reflect. So for me, I look at it as both the pros and the cons, because you need to be very careful about also your mental health, that you don't get into depression, because also imagine the weather. You are from the tropics, my friend. You have summer from January to December, if I may call it that way, like in Kenya. But then you show up in August, you say September, and before you think about it, October, it's already dark and it's snowing. So you're thinking, then you have to go, like for us, I mean, we had physical classes. So I have to leave the house. There's a day I was telling my friends in December, I had a presentation for class at 8. So I woke up early to prepare. So I walked to class in the darkness. I stayed in school in campus, and I came back home at 1 when it was dark. That is how bad it can be. Yeah.
Speaking of dark, when you arrive in August, the fall in US over there, you call autumn season.
Autumn, yes.
Usual, the dark starts around 8:30, 9 in the evening. And then middle of October going to November, the dark starts around 4, 5 in the evening.
Yeah.
How strange was it for you to have that new experience?
Oh, we can talk the whole day about it. So for me,
you eat dinner while it is
dinner, or you don't know what you're eating,
or going for sleeping while it is still light outside. Oh, at 4 there is dark. What time do you sleep? Like,
no, for me, it was both laughable and strange, because now I had I love researching, so I had researched and seen, okay, so October, this date, it will be dark from 4 p.m. So I was sitting in my apartment and just near the window. So, and I'm like, I didn't think much about it. Then at 4, it became dark. I'm like, wait. I checked my phone. I checked my computer. I checked everything. I was like, no, I need to go outside. No, there's something off. Then in my head, I remembered, it's the changes. So for me, I had to quickly think, oh no. So now the darkness that I was told about is here. So of course, the beauty is that also get vitamin D's, like the tablets, so that you can be able to be able to take care of yourself, because you will feel, sleepy, you're tired all the time, you don't know. So for me, because of also being busy, it really helped me, because I didn't have time to, like my, first winter, I was already a busy student, and I also already have joined the student organization. Second winter, I had privilege of getting a job. So my winters have been, this is my third winter, so they have been really occupied. So you need to really think through. And it's not, we are not just saying, I'm not just saying, I'm just telling you, I have lived it. So you can live, and you can also look for opportunities so that you keep yourself busy.
What about food? Because the food is different. I don't know whether you are used to European food before going there, because nowadays in Africa you can eat most of the different type of cuisine while you were in Africa. Before the time when I was coming here, you cannot find it, so you come and expose it for the first time. But for you, how was it? Is there any food still you like it, or was difficult for you to start enjoying the Swedish life and the European?
Yeah, for me, it's, again, I think it's been very, we can talk about the negatives, but also for me, it's been a lot of positives. Yeah, so I'm a vegan. So here it worked
a lot,
so good for me because I have the normal food. So I was not eating like meat back home. So for me, it didn't really, of course, the taste. Yeah, but the taste, the taste is really different. So if you can be able to, pack in a few spices with you, look for African shops or Asian shops and get something to just add a flavor to your food. But basically for me, integrating, adapting, that will really sort you out because you will not have to have that go to isolation, or now you're thinking, oh, weather is bad, food is bad. Of course, I have forgotten the education system is different. So please don't come with that mind of African mind of grade. Here, they don't grade you, by the way, in Sweden. They don't grade you.
Yeah, so people should know, like, the way you see it, it can destroy you or benefit you. If you look as a negative, every single thing, you can complain every single day from morning to evening.
Every day.
Why did the neighbor didn't greet me? If you take it as a negative, it's up to you. But if they're culture, okay, I'm okay. Yeah. If they greet you, it's okay. But in Africa, if someone doesn't eat the cake for your birthday, you don't love me. So maybe it's in diet. Like, what? What doesn't get that flavor? Like,
yes.
Or is that yes. Like take it as a positive all the time, your life will be easier.
It will. That's why I said manage. Someone also, I asked them what would be the first, like the only thing that is what I was asking people whenever I got to network with someone and get their contact. I asked them, what's the only thing that you can tell someone who's coming new here, especially as a student in Sweden? And one person told me, manage your expectations. It will sort you out, because you will not come with that mind of, oh, my Kenyanness, oh, my Ugandan, my Africanness. So
this amount of Swedish krona? No.
Yes.
Wow, you're not in Kenya, you're in Stockholm.
Exactly. So because thank you for mentioning that, because there's that conversion syndrome. I call it a syndrome. You come and then you're like, okay, you know what? This is what is the amount of money in Kenya. I cannot buy. You will never eat. You will never dress. You will never wear a good, winter shoe, and you need it. A good winter coat, and you need it, because they tell you it's not about the bad
something. And
yes, there is one saying that goes on here in Kenya. No, sorry, I'm missing my country. In Sweden, that it's not about the bad weather, it's about the bad clothing. That is what the locals will tell you. So whatever you do with that information I've told you, just don't, and also don't buy stuff in Africa. We've never had harsh winter. We don't have winters, apart from, of course, South Africa, but it's not. Yeah.
You have 18 degrees and you say that is cold. Just wait.
No. Yes, yeah. So I think for me, the beauty about it is that you're able to manage your expectations, and that really sorts you out. Yeah.
So before we wrap up, I want to remind people, make sure you apply for this scholarship. The link for description, even like what you have been talking about, the amount of money, about the process, the admission process first, then the scholarship starting from February up to the end of February, admission January 7th, everything is there. So people just go and watch that video, and the links there on this particular video, make sure you understand that one. Take it as a job, seriously apply. Not just like today, you are going to ask your supervisor, write me a recommendation letter today. Let them know in advance. They have to make it's a competition from around the world. So this is serious, even if we are laughing, but it's a very serious opportunity for people to be able to take it.
Yes, it is. It is. And it's, I mean, you imagine like our time, 20,000, you're competing with 20,000 other very talented and very, so don't look at yourself and think, oh, I have, because that's what I would have gone with that mind. Oh, I have 10 years experience. I have
I'm African. So what if you're African?
Yes, I'm a girl, I'm a female.
There is
no.
How many females they are in India and they have good results, better than you? How many they are there in Nigeria?
Yes.
The population of Nigeria is 200 million. It's just Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. Combined South is just Nigeria. How many of those were there? So just compete. I usually tell people, even in my scholarship book, I say scholarship application is not a therapy session. So don't go there and seek for the mercy by just looking for the sympathy by expressing your problem. Show how competitive you are and compete to win. That's the game. It's a winning game. If you don't, just don't apply.
Yes, and also as you said, as you finish, I think one key point is that as you look at the documentations, especially for the scholarship, do not make any mistake. Do not try to implement and to improvise a template, your own template of CV. Use what has been given.
They give you the link for European standards or the Swedish specific. Don't play smart. Just
don't.
What you want to do.
Because those are the first things to disqualify you. Because if you are 20,000,
what is this way? They said, I don't remember this. I'm giving an example. They say it's 2 or 3 pages resume, CV. They say that if I don't remember, but let's say if they say the CV maximum is 3 pages, and they write if it's more than 3 pages, from 4th page they are not reading. They say so. Don't play smart. Do what they say. So don't
and then
start as a tribe. They're not looking for the tribal chief. Just go for the resume standards, CV standard, and do what they want you to do.
Yes, and adding to the first what you've noted about the CV is that in your CV they say it can be before our time 2019 was 2 pages, so now they've said like 3 pages, but they say check and add what is applicable. What will sell you? How do you package yourself?
So you say you were baptized on this year for what? How does that relate to? How does it to apply for the masters? Is irrelevant information is not needed.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's good. I note that to people, and then during that, I think another tip is that during when they open the portal, which is between 10th of February to 28th of February. If you can try, maybe skip the first day because many people are applying, so probably the portal can, hang or something. Try in the middle, 2nd, 3rd, 4th day. Please, not the last day again. Last year again, it ended like that. It was so bad. And imagine all these nights and time spent writing motivation letters, getting letters of reference from your bosses, managers, or business people or clients. If you're a business person also, I think it's good to know you can apply as long as you get a client to write for you a reference to say this person is very, good and honest and trustworthy person, professional, I mean, they can vouch for you. So I think it's important also to note that, so that you just apply in the middle of the the portal.
3 days. Anything can happen.
Yes.
There might be no electricity in your area.
Yes.
Internet might be slow. But also there are so many people are going to apply on the last day. So don't plan to cease fire technique on the last day.
Yes. And as you apply, as I said, please confirm with the list, the eligible master's program.
Eligible masters and the eligible universities.
Yes. So that you don't tell us, there are people who come, they get the admission, but then they are thinking, wait, I didn't apply for the scholarship because it's expensive. If you have the money, well and good, then forget about the scholarship. Yeah, but if you have the money to apply for, to study here, good for you. You can actually be admitted, and also you can spend your money here. But if you don't have the money, then apply for the scholarship. I think that's what I can add. So I hope I've explained better about before my time here and post graduation. Yes.
Personally, I would like to appreciate a lot for sharing this one, because people, when they see there are these scholarships, they believe that, oh, this is not for me. There are so many people who are so special. So when we see people who are actual winners, helps a lot of others to believe and know that they can also be able to do that. And also, we know the Western life, to put your time for more than an hour to sit with me, I don't take it lightly. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm waiting for your 2 things. I'm waiting for your YouTube channel. 3 things.
Yes.
YouTube channel, blog, and your book.
Yes, we agreed on that. Thank you.
Keep reminding you. Yeah. So
yes, the channel will be up before we close the year. I think that's the best I can say.
Yeah, thank
you. Thank you for hosting me.
One last thing you want to do before we end the stream.
The stream. That the what I can say is that there are endless opportunities out here, like abroad or anywhere that you would be, and also possibilities. Believe in possibilities. You can be able, if I won the scholarship, you are also able to win the scholarship. So walk with just surround yourself and walk with that mind that it's possible, that I can do all things. It is very, very possible. And may the Lord bless us. Yes.
Thank you so much. And may God keep blessing you. So see more people getting these opportunities. And if you apply, you don't get it, there are so many other opportunities you needed to know. That's why I've opened the special YouTube channel specifically for scholarship. Apart from EBM Scholars, is fully funded scholarships with EBM. That will be a lot of videos about scholarships. So check them out and be among the people to benefit from the information. And try to forward these messages. Everyone, whenever you see a message, if it's a good one, share. Let's not just forward just about because it's comedy or because it's a good music.
Yeah.
We also need to share the opportunities in our WhatsApp groups. So
yes, that's true. That's true. And thank you for hosting me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.